so now we're going to talk about sitting and where we should be when we're sitting. So we talked about the sit bones. So this is how we're going to find the sit bones. First of all, you want to be on something hard. So a metal chair, a wood chair is preferable. If you're on a couch or a cushioned chair, it's going to be a lot harder to feel them. You're going to take your hands underneath the bottom of your spine, which is your butt. So basically put your hands under your butt. You should pretty easily feel the bones underneath your spine. It doesn't matter if you've got a lot of butt there, if there's a lot of flesh, it's very bony, you'll feel it. So once you feel that, take your hands away, and then you should feel if you're directly on top of them. You want to be directly on the bones. Now this is what's common. Some version of this or this. In all of those, you are rolled behind the sit bones. So right here, I'm not on them, I'm behind them. So you won't feel yourself going directly on them. So when you're sitting, the most important thing that you can do when you sit in the chair right away is make sure you're on those bones. The rest of the spine cannot lengthen up if you're not directly on the bones. So let's say I sit down and I'm here, okay? I'm a little bit behind the bones. Now I want to lengthen myself up. So let's try, we try our lengthening exercise. We do here, we go here. You can't get there. You can't get all the way up because the bottom of the spine, meaning the bottom of the spine while you're sitting on it here, is rounded. You just can't get the length. It's impossible. So if you're not sitting directly on the sit bones, you're already setting yourself up for failure. To set yourself up for success when sitting, you have to be directly on the bones. So let's say, okay, now we got on them. Still, your tendency might be to do this, but at least now you're on your bones, okay? So you're on the bones, you have the possibility of lengthening up. So you're here. Now you do your lengthening exercise. Take your hands, put them here, get your spine up. There you go. You should feel that same work here that you felt before, that stretching. It'll feel a little bit odd if you're not used to this at all. And if you've had these patterns for a long time, when you lengthen up, you might just get there to start with. Maybe you won't get all the way up. Maybe it will take you a few months of doing this to loosen up some of the muscles to get all the way up there. Because let's remember, if you've been in this pattern for a long time, if you've been at your computer doing this for a long time, these muscles are really overworked. Your shoulders have been doing so much work sitting at a computer like this. Your neck must be so tight doing this all the time. So those muscles, so I'll call them the incorrect muscles for now. These muscles are not the correct muscles to be working. The incorrect ones are doing a ton of work because the correct ones are not doing the work. So once we get you up here, the correct muscles, which is your abdominals, your whole core through here, that upper back, they start doing the work. And then when you go to type, and we're going to get into this later, but just to give a quick example, when you go to type or do something with your arms here, these muscles all through your side, which I like to call the side bodies, these muscles start to work. The muscles back here start to work. Those are the correct muscles to be working. So when the correct muscles work, the incorrect muscles get to finally relax. Your neck and shoulders will be so grateful and happy that you are giving them a break. They don't want to be doing all this work. They just don't know what else to do because something has to hold your body up. Something has to get your hands up to the computer screen, and the right muscles are not being used. So they're like, well, I guess neck and shoulders are going to do it. We got to type, we got to do something. So they will be so grateful to get the break when you get that length and you start using the more appropriate muscles. So we'll talk about having support when you're sitting in a chair, because I know you can't sit like this for 8 hours a day right now. That's not realistic. So we'll talk about how to have the spine in the right place, but have some support behind your back. We will also talk about typing and what muscles we want to be working and kind of the best place to have that set up. But this is the fundamentals of sitting. Sit bones down, and then you got the length in your spine.